Here we are with Alex Ryan. She's a student of astronomy and she had a really interesting experience attending International Astronautical Congress. So Alex, how did you get involved with that?
Well, at the start of this year, I went to a program run by the International Space University up in Adelaide, where I worked with a team of professionals and students to look at a topic. We wrote a white paper on the effects of space weather on terrestrial technology and satellites, and as a result, my supervisors from that project were really impressed, so they asked me and two others from the program to present it at the International Astronautical Congress. So
great. So what was Congress all about?
It's all about the coming together of everyone who's involved in the space industry, so everyone from engineers to those interested in like the entrepreneur side. So we had a lot of private space companies there, like SpaceX, to lawyers, everyone involved in space law, and there was a big presence from the UN, and everything in between, from looking at the art side, like there was people there who do space photography and space film, and so it was a big melting pot of everyone involved in the space industry, so it's designed to encourage collaboration.
Oh, sounds great. You must be one of the youngest people who attended it. How did you?
Yeah.
Were there some kind of networking sessions or sessions just for students? Or?
Yes. Before the IAC, there was a program run just for students called the Space Generation Congress, and that was a good way to network with other students, and I got to meet a lot of people my own age who were still studying, and it's a really good way for students to connect with employers and professional career advisors. So there were quite a few sessions run for students because the organisers of the ISE wanted to encourage as many students as possible to get involved, and so we have like a next generation of space professionals.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And so you mentioned that in 2017 Adelaide is going to host one?
Yes. Whilst I was there, Australia was trying to win the bid to host the ISE in Adelaide in 2017. So we had a big presence there. We were everyone got involved to try and help Australia's chances, and in the end we did. We won, which was amazing.
Yeah, it's great because you don't hear in general news much about Australian space program.
None at all. That was one of the big hurdles we had to overcome, is the fact that we were competing against countries that had big inroads in ESA or NASA and their own space policies and programs. But because Australia is like a really growing space industry and we have a lot of interest here, we thought that getting the ISE to Australia would encourage governments and policymakers to start realising that it's actually a big deal and we should get involved.
Yeah, sounds good. So keep an eye on Adelaide 2017. Just to backtrack to something you said before, it all started with you attending International Space University?
Yes.
So what is that and how did you get involved with that?
Well, I've always been interested in space, and I've got into astronomy, so I was looking for other programs that I could do in the summer to sort of get more involved, and my father came to me with a program that one of his friends had been looking at doing, and it was the International Space University's Southern Hemisphere Summer Space Program, and it's run jointly with the University of South Australia, and it's basically designed for anyone who's in the Southern Hemisphere who wants to get involved with space, not necessarily just straight through academia or engineering, but like a very interdisciplinary approach. The ISU is all about interdisciplinary, international, intercultural, like getting people from all persuasions to come together, work together, to learn from each other, and to all input into a one project. So it's not just one side or one culture, it's everyone.
This is why astronomy and space are good for Earth. Sorry, keep going.
And yeah, it was very fun because I got to work with people from so many different countries. Like, I learned so much about all of these different cultures. There was a wide range of people involved, and like everyone was really passionate about what they did, which is what made it such a fun program. It was very intense at times because we were doing a lot of work in a very short amount of time. But
so how long did the school last?
The program was 6 weeks, so start of January to mid-February.
So does it involve sort of lectures and then hands-on things, or?
Yeah, it was the first 3 weeks were a combination of lectures and tutorials where we got professionals to come in and talk to us. Like, it was everything from running a mock UN summit discussing space to working with satellite programs and GPS tools. And we, for example, we went to a park one day and we were given GPS, and we had to use GPS mapping to locate different things and different structures and then apply them back to maps. So we got an idea of passive observation and active observation of the Earth, which was really interesting. So.
And you mentioned there was a project that you had to do, which led you to the Congress?
Yes. So our project theme was space technologies for disaster management. That was what we were given as a heading, and then from there we got to decide what we wanted to do with that. And we thought that, well, let's do something a little bit different. Let's look at the impacts that space weather, like coronal mass ejections, would have on satellites and terrestrial technology. And if an event like this were to happen, what can we do to mitigate it and to help with disaster relief and management after that? So my part was mostly in the physics of coronal mass ejections and looking at how they would affect different technologies and what they would do. But we had people from every area, so we had quite a few from the military who would look at what the military would do to help in the case of disaster management, how they would work together. We had space lawyers who would talk about the responsibilities if you were to start hardening up satellites. Would this be an issue if other countries thought it was preparing them for military use? And then we had people on the ground who were disaster management relief experts who would talk to us about, if we lost satellites, what will we use? Like, how will we be able to prevent it from just all-out catastrophe? So.
Yes, people are not aware how much we rely on satellites these days.
Oh, it is incredible. That was one of the things I learned, how much we rey on space. And I didn't even know.
And you mentioned you even had a comedian on your team.
Yes, we had Josh Richards. He's a comedian. He's one of the finalists for the Mars One program, so he does a lot of space outreach, and he was very, very helpful with dealing with the social media and the promoting of the project. So he was able to tell us like how to talk to people. Like, he taught me how to present in front of crowds, and
that's awesome.
Yeah, it was very, very helpful. I no longer have a fear of public speaking now.
Oh, great!
Which is good.
You need to give seminar to all our students. But I mean, it sounds like there was a lot of professionals there. What fraction you think there was a fraction of students attending this?
Probably between 20 and 30% were students. There was a lot of, like, the students were coming there to learn more and to form networks and to see what other professionals are doing. And the professionals were coming because it was a great chance to expand their knowledge. So a lot of people came to learn how to work with other people and other cultures and to learn more about the space industry and how they can get involved.
Yeah, that's great. I'm definitely attending 2017 one.
Yes, definitely.
And you are your third year student, finishing your
Yes.
third year. What are your plans? You're going to be a space expert now?
Oh,
I mean, bigger space expert?
bigger space expert, I'd like to be. At this stage, I'm trying to do honours next year if I'm able to get in. Depends on these exams.
I have no doubts you will get there.
So I'm trying to get into honours, do honours in astronomy next year. After that, really depends, because going to the ISC and International Space University has really broadened my definition of careers. So I have a lot of opportunities to go do further work with, say, the ISU. They run a couple of extra programs, and one of the good things is they have a lot of contacts in a lot of different space agencies. So yeah, it'll be very interesting to see what I could do, but I'm still looking around and chasing all my options, because there's a lot.
That's great. Thank you so much for sharing all this.
No worries, my pleasure.
I'm sure many students don't know. I didn't know about many of this stuff, so it's great to see that there is something beyond just an academic career or research career with studying astronomy. And especially it's great to see that Australia is getting involved into something that if we don't get involved now, we're gonna miss the train. So it's great that there is actually a lot of incentives to involve Australia with this.
Definitely.
So we will put the website for the project that Alex did with her colleagues. We'll put the link, and please go and look at that project and her talk. And hopefully we'll hear more from Alex in the future.
Thank you. Thank you very much.